Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, CashApp. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo? Hey y'all, it's your girl CashApp, and you were tuned in to the Bougie AF channel where I say stay bougie on them, and I'm serving you feminism for the soul. Don't forget to check me out on them people's Instagram at OG_BougieAF. You can also check me out on Twitter at I'm_Bougie_AF, and then I am also on the people's TikTok at SheBougieAF. Okay, so y'all, let's get into it. I decided that I wanted to hop on and do a video where I talk about the most recent interview Mr. P on you R.Kelly is doing from them people's prison, where he is speaking to Wack, the Wack is of them all, Wack 0, and then Adam 22. So I'm going to go ahead and play that. I'm going to be stopping and we're going to be talking about it. Yeah, if you don't know, I'm not a fan of R.Kelly. I don't know who could still be a fan of him, but it is what it is. With that being said, what's being discussed in this video is that R. Kelly feeling as if though he has been unlawfully convicted of his crimes, and Wack 100, of course, he's another one of these bootsy characters who always wants to be on the wrong sides of things and aid the criminals and their criminal behavior. And so Wack 100 feels as though he is helping R. Kelly get justice because he feels also that he may have been illegally whatever, prosecuted or whatever. So we're going to take a listen to it, and then Adam 22 is just allowing himself just to be used by Wack 100. So I don't know what's wrong with certain people. That's why, when it comes to certain issues within the black community or just certain people within the black community, if you're not from this shit, I would just tell you to mind your business and not get acquainted or get into friendships and relationships with certain individuals. And for me, Wack 100, Wack 0 is one of those people that I think if you're trying to do business, I would stay far, 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 far away from. Like, he's like, I don't know why people can't read between the line. I've seen it enough on Clubhouse where he falls out with people and he pulls up information. We always known, or what he's become famous for, is having tapes on people, incriminating information, right? So, there's a whole bunch of rumors about some other individuals that he may have extorted because he had tapes on them, allegedly, and all this other stuff. So I'm not quite sure why Adam 22 does not get the message that this is not somebody that you want to do business with. It's just the point period to the blank. Like, I've seen girls on Clubhouse follow behind this man and think they chasing a bag or chasing a dream and shit like that. And like I said, I would not even deal with any female that's associated with this nigga because they probably could be setting you up to get information from. I'm just being completely honest because that's literally how it goes down. Adam 22. So, just proceed cautiously. He's most definitely a kindred soul of them people's Suge Knight. He's from the school of Suge Knight, the school of extorting, shakedown. So, I don't know how else to be any more clear than what I just said. All right, so with that being said, let's get into the interview.
Y'all listen, bro. The disciplinary hearing officer had illegally accessed all of my records.
Is it loud enough? I don't know where it's playing from.
Illegally scanned them to her own personal Gmail account.
Okay.
Then illegally gave them to Tasha K.
Yeah, crank that up.
Then those records, those communications between me and my other girlfriend would have never reached my girlfriend's ear or eyes for her to get pissed off enough to come to my visit the last time.
All right, so okay, so if you don't remember, about 2.5 years ago, around the time when R. Kelly, they were, charging him, and after the documentary came out, and he was locked up, of course, he was communicating with his two girlfriends, Jocelyn Savage and Azriel Cleary, right? And you remember the famous Gayle King interview? Well, they were holding their nigga down. They were holding him down, especially Azriel, little ass. She was ride or die. She was very disrespectful to Gayle King talking to that woman. But listen. All right, so y'all remember that interview? Both of the girlfriends was like, "I'm riding till the wheels fall off." Right? They were living in the penthouse in Chicago, Trump Tower and shit like that. They were taken care of, and they were just, that was their prison bay. Long story short, while he was locked up, there was conversations that they each were having with him, that separately, right? And so just like a grimy ass, I don't know what the hell to call him, groomer, he's saying different things to both of these women, right? In terms of like what their relationship really is, who's number one, who's number two. I'm pretty sure both of them thought they were number one. So, he's saying all these things to these women, right? With that being said, there was someone who had access to his phone conversations, his recordings, his emails, his conversations with his lawyer. So there was someone at the jail who could access all of that information, and someone did. And they accessed it over 150 times. They downloaded the information, and then they went to their homes and they sent it to Tasha K. And so that's why, if you remember when Tasha K was reporting on this and she had the inside scoop, it seemed like she was like a motherfucking fly on the wall in the fucking prisons and shit, that you thought like, damn, Tasha, were you on the call? Because it was like he would have a call or he would send an email and Tasha would have it. Like it would be just like, it would be such a fast turnaround, right? Because I remember. And don't try to forget that all this shit is allegedly, okay? All right now. All right, so I remember watching Tasha K at the time. That's when I did watch. I don't watch her anymore, y'all. So, okay. I just watch clips, so like if it comes across my timeline. So I remember watching and she would be like, R.Kelly, and he can't spell. And she would just literally be reading off his emails like they were right in front of her, right? And I remember because I'm very astute, so I'm sitting there thinking, oh, this is not good. This is not good at all. I hope she doesn't go to jail, because I do think I gotta look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's a crime to receive stolen information, right? So I mean, it's government information she received, so I'm just not quite sure like why she hasn't been charged for this, or is it possible? I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna look some shit up because I really do think she should be charged, because I just really do, right? So what you hear is R.Kelly saying, because Tasha K went back and told Azriel Cleary that he was on the phone with Jocelyn, the other girlfriend, and telling her how she's the one and blah, 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 contradicting everything he's been telling Azriel, that's what caused Azriel to flip on him, which then led to Azriel testifying, giving the information on him, and just like really kind of being 95% of his case that got him convicted, right? So I just wanted to bring you up to speed with that. Okay, here we go.
And cursed me out, telling me she heard all of the phone calls and saw all of the emails, even phone calls between me and my attorney. She told me. And she wasn't getting that.
Wait. The bitch got the I ain't gonna clear bitch. But the lady, the lady got the recordings?
My girlfriend came to my visit, the last visit.
Yeah.
Okay, in 2019, and cursed me out, saying she heard me talking to my other girlfriend.
Okay, so what I'm trying to understand is...
She heard me talking to my lawyer, saying I'm not leaving my other girlfriend for her. She had this conversation with me and snapped on me in my last visit and left. And after that, she went and was and joined the feds and was testifying against me. That's what happened. And I didn't know how she knew those things. Everything she said, I said was true, but I didn't know how the hell did she know. Until 3 weeks before my verdict, which was in 2021, in the middle of trial. And then I
That's
started
coercion, bro. That's coercion all day.
So his attorney came in to visit him, and they got into some kind of argument, and so she goes into his jail email and takes all of his emails and then presents them to the prosecution?
No.
His ex-girlfriend, right?
No, the prison guard.
Prison guard.
The prison guard who worked in the prison went into R.Kelly's emails 153 times and sent those emails to her personal email. Then went home and sent the emails to Tasha K. The prosecution gets a hold of him and approaches R. Kelly's girlfriend,
right,
the one that's visiting with him and standing with him, right? And shows them all the emails of him emailing his other girlfriend.
And that's how they turned her on.
She then turned on R. Kelly and became a witness for the prosecution. And she represented 95% of the case.
Why did they go to Tasha K with this kind of information?
I don't know, but let's continue.
Okay.
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. So, if the law hadn't broke the law, and because I didn't find out about it till 3 weeks before the trial.
The law had broke the law. The law could have worked in your favor.
Exactly. So,
So how important was her testimony?
she was 95% of my case, bro. I told you that.
Oh, damn.
She was the main witness, the star witness. And per my lawyers, she was the main witness in my case. Now, I know it's a lot of people out there that don't want to hear this, don't want to, may not like R.Kelly or want to listen to my music or may believe anything they hear about me or whatever.
Don't listen to that, bro.
But listen. But at the end of the day, my constitutional rights is supposed to look just like everybody else's constitutional rights. My due process is supposed to look like everybody else's due process. There should not be a celebrity version of the Constitution.
No, you're right about that.
The law is not some remix they can just remix to their agenda, bro.
Remix to
their agenda. I should not be treated like some prosecutor's trophy, bro, and I'm just being real. The law broke the law.
No,
the law broke the law. And because the law broke the law, it ultimately got me where I'm at right now. Because if that officer hadn't given Tasha K my restricted jail records, what does restricted mean? That means don't go in that area. That means don't mess with this.
Yeah.
She did it, and a search warrant says she did it. R.Kelly's not saying she did it. I'm going off of what the search warrant says.
Search warrant says, yeah.
And that search warrant was signed off by her own time, which is a judge, huh?
Yeah, the search warrant was initiated by verified, not yours.
Right. Anybody to get involved and make the Department of Justice aware of these crimes, to get a transparent, thorough investigation into Officer A sharing my jail records with internet blogger Tasha K and who she shared them with. All emails, text messages, phone calls, computer traces must be fully investigated. And Merrick Garland, U.S. Attorney General, the Department of Justice, 950 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, D.C., 20530. Now, here's the case number for the search warrant. The case number, so people can see it for themselves. And then, if you don't believe me, you can look at it yourself. The case number is
Search warrant, Mark. Give it to him.
20M148. That's the case number, search warrant. It's unsealed in the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division. Look, the Chicago Tribune and the Chicago Sun-Times put the article out about my jail records being stolen by Officer A on 9/7/21.
This call is from a federal prison.
There was 2 newspapers that put the article out. I'm not, listen, people may say, well, he had his chance in court. He had a jury of his peers. First of all, I don't know about jury and my peers. I just know this. If the jury had known this, if they had known this, because it had happened before they even picked the jury, and if that jury had known this, this would have went another way.
Every time I take trips out to the farm, that's sort of my meditative experience.
But I feel like I shouldn't even went to trial because it happened in 2019 while I was in Chicago. Now, since this DOP officer has done this, she just retired. She was never charged. They only call her Officer A. They don't reveal her name or nothing.
Got you. Well, we able to go pull it, dig into it, see what's there. But nevertheless, it's obviously a case of coercion for them to sway a witness that was standing on your side to stand on the prosecution side.
Yeah, because my girl was supporting me. She was supporting me 100% until she saw some damn emails, 6 months worth of lovey-dovey emails. I'm going to keep it real. She saw 6 months worth of lovey-dovey emails between me and my other girlfriend.
Or you know what the people gonna say, or you know what the people gonna say. All that learning is goddamn lesson just to be a one-woman man. Goddamn, he couldn't do it on the street. Can't do it right behind the walls. You know
right, but at the same time, bro, when they say that, that's fine. That's okay. But at the end of the day, you don't go to jail for being a player, and you definitely don't do no 30 years.
You got that right.
Okay, so let's cut the bull crap, bro. Okay?
You got that right.
Yeah, I can learn my lesson, and I have learned my lesson. Believe me.
All right, so I wanted to stop there. There's more, and I'm going to play that. And the reason that made me do this video, and this is the reason why I think, and I'm kind of really disgusted with Adam for wanting to platform this and give this light. R. Kelly has not learned his lesson, right? Because R. Kelly, if he really took what he has been accused of and convicted of serious, right, in terms of all the evidence that came out, in terms of like us knowing about Dominique being the age that she was, or I think her name is Giovanna, or something like her age, and that coming out and stuff like that, or even Azriel, she was most definitely underage when she met R. Kelly, right? So if he was really serious, or really, you know, had some type of, you know, if he really felt he did anything wrong, he would not be sitting in this interview or in this phone conversation thinking his actions made him player, right? Like, Adam, is that not like a red flag to you that this man has not learned his lesson? Like, he does not see that he's done anything wrong, right? Like, we're not even talking about Tasha K or any of these others. Like, we're not talking about Tasha K right now. I'm not talking about Tasha K right now. I'm talking about R. Kelly in his mind. He thinks he is a player. He thinks he's a player. And it's disturbing, right? Because you're talking about children that you manipulated in some... like, we're talking about children you manipulated. As a grown-ass man. Going all the way back to Aaliyah and Samo. Right? I learned my lesson. And the only thing that this nigga probably learned is that he probably would just wait till a girl is 18 years old. 18 in a minute. That's all. That's the only thing he's learned. Why would you want to platform this? Like, I'm really confused on, like, why do you think that there's something here? Ugh. Let's let him finish, and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my final thoughts on this.
But you don't learn a lesson for 30 years.
No, you got that
right. The girlfriend is mad because of another girl, so she'll get up on the stand and say anything. It's called woman scorn, bro. This ain't the first. Robert Kelly is not the first one to have emails.
I hate talking about R. Kelly. Like, I'm so happy he's doing 35 years in jail. I don't even get mad when his music get played or whatever. Like, I mean, I question the people who play it, but in my mind, I don't even get mad because at the end of the day, as like he just said, he's minimizing everything down to Azriel telling him, right? He's not going to talk about the girl that he gave an STD to allegedly, part of the reason why he's been convicted. He's not going to talk about that, right? He's not going to talk about the boys who came forward and talked about the things that he did to them too, right? Like, he's not going to talk about these things, right? He's not going to talk about his victims by name, Dominique, and, all the trauma they may have experienced at his hands. He's not going to talk about that. He is just going to minimize it to a woman being scorned, right? He's going to play into that narrative for these incels out here and these manospheres so they could pick up on that. Oh, this is just a woman angry. You know how women, when they get angry, they do anything, they say anything. As if though Azriel was the entire case, right? He mentions nothing about the other victims. Nothing. And Adam, somebody has to come to the mic and tell you that. His whole case was not 95% Azriel Cleary. It just wasn't. Like, did you not see the documentary to see all the women who came forward and testified? Sparkle, her niece, all of that. You didn't see any of that? Shit is crazy.
And phone calls and text messages to another woman.
There's no law against that either.
My point. But there is a law against stealing information, so I want people to focus more on the law breaking the law. You don't break the law.
You can't break the law to enforce the law.
Thank you.
Right about that.
Thank you, because you can't do that, and that's what's been done. The search warrant says it, not Robert Kelly. The search warrant said it, and I just gave the search warrant, number, but it says it. And all I'm trying to do is get the investigation. They haven't chaired the investigation.
Listen, I'm here to be a voice for you. So some of this I want to take. I got a platform. I don't know if you're familiar with No Jumpers. Familiar with No Jumpers?
Oh, man, I'm behind these walls, man. I ain't seen
I don't know. Yeah. Okay, well, it's a large platform.
We got 40 seconds.
It's ran by Adam 22, so I'm letting you know that I'm going to take this last conversation we had right here.
All right, so y'all, that's the end of that phone conversation. So while that was playing, I was actually looking some things up because I wanted to actually be as factual as possible when talking about this, and it's a little bit confusing. So what I was pulling up is actually trying to figure out, in terms of what R.Kelly is talking about is a situation that happened in Chicago, right? In terms of someone who worked for the Chicago prison systems who illegally accessed his information, took it home, and emailed it to Tasha K, right? So I remember when this was going on, felt like, okay, Tasha was like reading script, like it was reading it word for word, like she was a fly on the wall and shit like that. So I remember even at that time, I remember thinking, oh my God, why is she not in prison? Like, why is she not? Like, I remember thinking she was going to get in trouble for this because it is illegal to receive stolen information, right? Especially government information, right? So I'm really not quite sure why she has not been charged, Miss Kim Foxx. With that being said, what I was looking up was the fact that I knew that Kim Foxx in Chicago actually have dropped the charges against R.Kelly, right? So the article that I have here, is this the one? Okay, so this is it right here. So if you read down here below, because I had already knew this, but I mean, that's why I thought this interview or like what they're trying to talk about is really dumb because Chicago has already dropped the charges, right? And that state level, right? So it says here, a judge dismissed sex charges against R&B singer R.Kelly on Tuesday based on the recommendation of a Chicago prosecutor. The hearing lasted just minutes and came a day after Cook County state's attorney, Kim Foxx said she was comfortable dropping the case because Kelly would spend decades in prison for separate convictions in federal court. Kelly was awaiting trial on a state charges of sexual abusing 4 people in the Chicago area, 3 of whom were minors. He was not present when Judge Lawrence Flood dismissed the indictment. All of this is extremely important because R.Kelly and these lawyers are getting this money out of him because he's stupid. Federal juries in Chicago and New York have already, now that's important, federal juries in Chicago and New York have convicted Kelly of a raft of crimes, including child pornography, enticement, racketeering, and sex trafficking, and related to allegations that he victimized women and girls. Now, when I heard Kim Foxx had dropped the charges, I remember my brother had brought it up, and I don't know if like I didn't have much to say because I knew he was actually convicted already and sentenced in New York. But I knew when I heard that these charges had been dropped, I knew the reason why was because Tasha K and what she had did, right? It's absolutely a fact. Everything that R. Kelly is saying in terms of like, someone illegally accesses information, someone who wasn't able to get due process because of this, right? So when I heard that Kim Foxx had dropped the charges, I knew why. Like it was a no-brainer, right? Why go through this and you know that he's going to be able to appeal it, but he's already been sentenced to 35 years, right? Federally, right? And so that's extremely important because when you listen to R. Kelly and you listen to him have this conversation, it's not clicking to him that, this was, he was convicted on a federal level. And what had happened to him in terms of this, in this prison system was at the state level, right? One has nothing to do with the other. Right? So whatever they may illegally have done on the state level, that has nothing to do with the federal government, right? Like the state government can the state can drop the ball and get it wrong and stuff like that. But if the federal government pick it up and they have enough evidence on their own to to get a conviction, they can run with it, right? And that's the sick part of like listening to this conversation, because he most definitely is just minimizing this down to a woman scorned, right? You heard him mention that in terms of Azriel, that's all this is about, player shit. No, it's not. It really isn't. It really isn't, right? Like that documentary had already been done. Charges had already been filed. They had already had all the evidence that they needed against this man before they locked him up and had him in prison for a correction or for someone in the prison system to access his information. Like things had to happen, right? I think sometimes when we listen to these people and they frame things a certain way, we lose focus of like how things the process. We lose focus of the process, right? Like it did not come that Azriel came forward after hearing the phone calls or looking at the emails and then they had a case. That is not what happened. They literally had a case, right? Had his ass in jail, was already pursuing him, and she came forward, and so she was like a cherry on top, right? So, but if you listen to these ignoramuses and the way they frame it, right, they make it seem as though like these people broke the law to get evidence on him, and that's just not how that happened. Right? It's just not. And so when I go and look at the comments and I see all these comments and I see these people just like really supporting this weirdo shit. And I mean weirdo shit because at no point in time as he's minimizing it, making it all about the scorned black woman, because he knows what he's playing into. Like I said, he knows he's playing into the manosphere. He's playing into that black man, with chip on his shoulder, government always trying to take a black man down, that type of conspiratory rhetoric that is so prevalent into the black community, right? In terms of when we start talking about the law being on somebody's ass for breaking the law, right? That's just them. That person didn't free them. You know how many people walking around talking about free a criminal, free somebody who done shot up the whole motherfucking block? That's just them people. No awareness or no acknowledgement of the crime that has been done. All the white man. Right? That's all we hear, right? And that person could be dead ass wrong, guilty as fuck. Nobody cares. Right? But that's not what's going on here at all, right? So the evidence and everything was collected beforehand. So when I go to these comments and I see these incels, these disgusting ass men, and they are just really, 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 really supporting this behavior, right? Because what nobody wants to talk about is how we sit back and we have cousins and brothers and uncles who dating real young girls, and nobody chastises them, nobody calls them out, nobody tells them that they're creepy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks like that. Because you're doing too much. You think you better. Oh, you so difficult. Why you so hard? It's like you don't get it. You out of touch. You become all these different things. You a feminist. Because I want a rapist in jail, I'm a feminist. You just trying to break up the black community and the black homes. All of this shit starts to get said because you stand firm on what's right. At this point in life, I'm just laughing. I'm laughing. Because it's so comical and it's so dumb at this point. It's remedial at this point. I'm going to make a lot of people mad at the way I talk. because I'm just going to use the things that you say and throw them back in your face so you can hear how dumb they sound. Because it just sounds so dumb to me. All right, so this one says any evidence obtained illegally under illegal search and seizure must be suppressed. Even a judge can get in trouble if it's allowed. Let me read that to you again, because like I just told you, the timeline and the process of how this all played out really, really does matter, right? As you sat there and you listened to Wack 100 and R.Kelly minimize it to just Azriel Cleary, they don't talk about the evidence that was collected from all of his victims in terms of like the Dominique, Javonta, I think I got her name right, what's her name, Sparkle's niece. You know, they don't talk about that evidence, right? They don't talk about the STD allegedly that he gave a girl in New York, right? That's a part of the New York case. None of that is mentioned. The actual victims are not mentioned. Not the girlfriend, not the player shit. None of that is why he's locked up. None of that. None of that. I don't even think Azriel Cleary in her situation is a part of the case. I don't even think they were even able to, because I don't think she turned on him in that way. But they don't mention any of that. It's all about the black woman being scored and angry, trying to tear down the black man, and they have teamed together with the white man to do this. That's all this is being brought to. It's super sick. But let's read some more of these sick ass comments. Let's continue to go. Any evidence obtained illegally under the illegal search and seizure must be suppressed. Even a judge can get in trouble if it's allowed. I'm glad Wack showed compassion for Kelly, and I hope his platform can help get justice served for R. Kelly. Cheating never been illegal. I hope Adam 22 gets the biggest fucking of his life from Wack 100. I hope you get the biggest, because if you don't see how you're being used for something that is not your business, that you do not understand about what's going on in terms of rape culture that is a problem within the black community, and you lend your platform to this, I hope you gonna learn. You're gonna learn, just like all the women on Clubhouse who end up getting screwed over and embarrassed by this man. You most definitely gonna learn. Compassion for R. Kelly. This person wrote, the offense she committed is called prosecutorial misconduct. They got to throw the whole case away. Nothing to do with the federal court that he's been convicted and sentenced by. Nothing to do. That's why Kim Foxx dismissed it. She knew. She knew what Tasha K had did. Tasha K selfishly decided to chase $1. And so there are women from right here, it says here, Lanita Carter says justice was denied for me. Thanks, Tasha K. So when you guys wonder why, like, sometimes, like, I can't fuck with, or I don't, like, you know, don't want to be associated or don't care to be associated with certain people, is because there's some things that I know and understand that they're willing to do that I'm uncomfortable with. Very uncomfortable with. Right? And so it also continues to say here, Foxx acknowledged Monday that some Kelly accusers would be disappointed indeed. Lanita Carter said justice was denied for me. I have spent nearly 20 years hoping that my abuser, thanks Tasha K, you're such a piece of shit, would be brought to justice for what he did to me, Carter said Monday. Another sexual misconduct case is still pending. So he still has another case in Hennepin County, Minnesota, where the Grammy Award winner faces solicitation charges. Prosecutors haven't said whether they still intend to take Kelly to trial. Yeah, this is disgusting. He's disgusting. And Tasha K, I'm not gonna, like, you're weird. You're a weirdo. Like, you do these things, you insert yourself in real life shit, and then after sitting and listening to your court your bankruptcy court proceedings or your case with with Cardi B, you seem not to be that bright. You seem like, I'm just gonna be complete, like, you seem not to be that bright to me. Right? Like, spitting and talking celebrity gossip shit, that's easy shit, right? But, yeah, let me move off of that. Y'all know I don't like talking about the YouTubers, because we all doing the same thing, so I don't like to really kind of engage in that type of way, because, like, I'm not trying to fake beef with any of these bitches. You pull up on me, it's real for me. Like, we're not, like, I'm not I'm not playing with you. I'm not beefing for clout. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't have it in me. I guess I'm not hungry enough. I guess, right? All these fake ass stories and shit like that. If they did it, let me see. Oh, this comment took me out. The hurt in his voice brought tears to my eyes. Could you imagine having tears in your eyes for Chester Molester Pied Piper motherfucking R.Kelly? Could you imagine having tears in your eyes for him? Officer A needs to be held accountable. The parents need to be held accountable. This person has tears in their eyes for R. Kelly, even though we know he married underage Aaliyah. Lied about her age. It's alleged she may have even gotten pregnant by this man. We know all of this stuff. And the hurt in his voice brought tears to this motherfucker. You better go find something real to cry about, stupid. If they did it to R, imagine what they can do to regular people. Wow. Do you not realize that R has been able to get away with this because he's not a regular person? Okay. A good lawsuit against the Federal Bureau of Prisons will get everything started. Again, right? This happened at the state level in terms of the woman who illegally accessed his information. He has been sentenced federally. So he is in the federal system and he went through the federal system. I know that may be a lot for y'all. There are two different systems. So whatever they got wrong in the state got shit to do with the federal, right? Like I need us to do better. I need us to use Google in the right way, right? I'm still wondering why these girls' parents are not getting prosecuted for giving their underage daughters to Kels. Shaking my head. That's sad. I don't even know if there's any precedent for that in terms of like arranging your daughter or being okay with your daughters having relationships with older men. I'm not sure, right? Because is that a form of grooming or is that a form of trafficking? And I think that's an interesting question. I think it is a form of trafficking if you ask me, to be completely honest. If he's granted a new case, there's a possibility he might be released. You weirdos. Big respect to Wack 100 for taking the time to listen to R. Kelly. Bro, help him out as much as possible. As much as you can, bro. Big respect to Wack for keeping it 100. Can you imagine? Right? You got this motherfucking Wack institutionalized prison yard mind ass motherfucker and you respect him. The law broke the law. That's not justice. Okay. Kels, you said it best. When a woman's fed up. And that's the disgusting part. It's all going to be minimized to just a woman scorned. A woman scorned. Like, even when he says that Azriel just seen some lovey-dovey stuff that in 6 months worth of emails towards Jocelyn. I was born at night, but not last night. Do you think that Azriel, if she is in this three-way relationship, don't think that you are telling your other woman that you also love her? Like, you're not saying sweet nothings to her. Like, I'm just trying to understand the level of, like, where we're at when we're not, like, when we hear bullshit, right? Do you think that's all that was in those emails that probably pissed her off? You think it was just because he was just talking sweet to his other girlfriend? As if Azriel was the only one being spoken to sweetly? Like, how dumb are we? I'd be mad because R. Kelly is mentally challenged and he seems to be able to articulate in a way that fools people, and I'm concerned. I'm so fucking concerned. This person said, this is unbelievable. The law broke the law 153 times and all she got was an early retirement. That is so wrong. Tasha K is still doing her thing. I do agree that Tasha K doing her thing is a problem. The only victim in this whole mess is R. Kelly. Imagine all the women that have came forward and spoke out about what this man have done to them, and the only victim he can acknowledge and the only victim he sees because of how this video and how this interview was framed is R. Kelly. We should be extremely concerned. These are the same men who make excuses for men or dead-ass Jeremy. If you don't know who dead-ass Jeremy, that's that nigga in Chicago who got killed in that restaurant by that 14-year-old boy. I call him dead-ass Jeremy, right? That's how we have so many dead-ass Jeremys in our community, because they go unchecked. and excuses are being made for them. He deserves fairness. It doesn't matter what has happened. I know deep inside, I know you didn't do these things, and I still listen to you. Oh, this is so sick. How do you get justice when the law breaks the law, ignores its own policy in pursuit of fairness and due process to uphold law? I mean, what happened, but now it's a new ball game with this sort of information. He's willing to throw out everything that happened to people. What happened. It was in the past. Like, literally, that's literally the rhetoric within the community. It's really sick. I know from expectation this brother is more than likely 100% correct when it comes to the federal government. They broke in the law, but they didn't. No, the federal government didn't. They broke the law to convict this man and many more black men. Oh, shit, they can identify with him now. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap. America should be ashamed of its own. Now America. The good grounds to... That's good grounds to get R.Kelly case overturned. No, it's not. You don't do no 30 years for being a player. So, I mean, like I said, you guys, like, this is, like, really sick shit. This is really a lot of the, degenerative behavior that we consistently see within our community that people continue to make excuses for. I'm not surprised by this interview, right? I think this interview did not happen this week. I think it probably happened about 2 or 3, maybe even maybe a month ago, to be honest with you, because only reason I'm saying this is because I was in a clubhouse room and one of Wack's employees, he has tons of employees on the clubhouse, and I don't know if I should call them just volunteers or employees, but he has a whole bunch of wackinettes who does his bidding on the clubhouse, who goes around and listen for when his name is mentioned. They blackball, they block, they do a whole bunch of gatekeeping ass shit and stuff like that. None of these people are paid. I think he just uses people so they can help boost him up in his name and shit like that. But it is what it is. If you want to be goofy for a nigga, you be goofy for a nigga. So I'm in the room, right? And the word is out about me. I believe these people know who I am, and they know I do content and stuff like that. They also know that I'm actually, like, I'm one of the only people who's gonna, I don't care about being a celebrity's best friend in terms of, like, if I feel like you've broken the law, if I feel like you're a danger to the community, the community that we supposedly all give a fuck about until it's time to give a fuck about. If I feel like you go against that, like, I'm going to come down on you like a ton of rocks. Like, I'm just not going to care about any of that celebrity bullshit, right? So with that being said, I'm going to keep it real, and a lot of people are scared of that, right? So I've been in rooms with Wack where he had me removed, or his female. He's like one of those niggas who walk around like Gaddafi with a female army and shit like that. So they'll have me removed if I go into a room with him. So they're quite aware. So I'm in this room. I'm not on the stage. I'm in the audience. And the conversation is being had. And I'm pretty sure they were talking about, I think it was Thugger and Gunna and snitching and just, jail and all this other shit. All of a sudden, this bird comes in the room and she's out of the blue. Nobody talking about a motherfucking R.Kelly, okay? But then here comes this bird. Oh, yeah. This shit is whack. What they doing to brothers out here and da-da-da-da. That's why I stay on my free Kels. I stay on my free R. Kelly. And I'm just sitting there like, what do people think? Like, do y'all really think, like, the mention of his name gonna get you a reaction and gonna get people, like, you just gonna throw out some salacious shit and think that people are just gonna come up and argue with you? I don't talk about this shit in my real life unless I'm on a show, podcast, or I'm talking to somebody that equally, like, looks into celebrity stuff like I do, so we're at the entrance of ours. But this is not something me and my family sit around and talk about. Like, this is not a thing outside of me talking on this motherfucking bike for me, okay? I'm not traumatized. I don't have any, like, I don't have these type of situations in, like, real life that I'm traumatized by. You get what I'm saying? So so it don't move me like that. For me, this is a closed case. This is you niggas who want to try to bring Pied Piper out to touch little girls and shit like that. For me, this nigga's in jail for 35 years. I'm complete. I'm whole. Like, I'm whole. So no, I'm not coming up on the stage to squawk with you bird ass. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. It's not that deep right anymore. Justice has been served. We should be moving on. If you really want to keep it real, like, I'm just really actually happy with all of the outcomes in this situation. They got the 500K for of his royalty money that's gonna be going to his victims. Yes, girl. So you sitting on motherfucking Clubhouse stage trying to cape for a nigga. You need to drop him some changes in his commissary if you really want to look out for a nigga. To be honest with you, if you really want to be about that's your man's and free him, he gonna need a little change, girl. I don't think he got enough to make it to 35 years, girl. Drop him a little something if you really care about a player, right? But what I'm never gonna do is engage into a back and forth conversation about some aura. I'm not. I'm just not. Not no aura. If you don't know what that is, an aura, put an A and a P and an ER after that. I'm not gonna do it. So I don't know what people think. That is really weird to me. All right, y'all. Like I said, for me, justice has been served. I wish we would move on, not give this any more attention. I am more than okay with how this turned out. So y'all know how we do here. We keep it bougie SF, we keep it posh SF, we keep it black SF, and y'all keep being blessed SF, and y'all be black, y'all. Kiss, 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 kiss. And don't you forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.